Morning, everybody. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at, wherever you're looking at us from. I hope you have enjoyed your week. It has been a long week. I got a little thinking hanging out. A long week, long 2 week for me. Um, but we are here nevertheless. We are alive. We are living. So much has happened this week. So much has happened. So many things have been said. It keeps sticking out. The little hair don't wanna act right. Mm-mm-mm. So much has happened this week. So many things. Let me. How do I want to open up? Mm, I had a lot of things I absorbed this week. A lot of things I've been seeing, and there's some things I wanted to bring to the light on a lot of things. Before I get into it, you know, before we go on Tam's mad rant in the AM. Let's go ahead and hear a word from our sponsor so we are clear and free and won't get derailed from what I'm about to say. Um, Shout out to you, Intentional Millionaire. We see you in the building. Those that will be joining us, we salute you. All right, so that's a word from our sponsor. Hey, everybody, welcome to Women in Linux. I am Tam, and Dee is in the background. And we just want to share with you some of the perks of being here on our channel. All right, so first things first, if you want to connect with us on social media, connect with us anywhere on social media at Women in Linux. If that's just too much for you, you can always come and find us on womeninlinux.org. And if that's not enough, we have even more perks where you can hit the connect button. Once you hit connect button, you put your email address in here, and once you put your email address in here, it'll connect with us in our Slack group. We have tons of resources in our Slack group. People looking for jobs, people just looking for advice, people looking for information, and so forth. Right. So again, this is Slack. It's not Discord. So on with using Slack, warn you, it is resource heavy. So you may need to use either the web browser, or if you're on your phone, you should be fine. But if you're on your desktop, and we know most of you connect on your computer, it's easier to open it up in your web browser so it doesn't take up so much memory or so many processes and so forth. That's just an FYI. That's how I use it. Okay. And if you would like to shop with us, we still have our stuff from our 5 year stuff. Still good. We're working on more T-shirts. No, no estate, no date. We're still working on that. But again, if you want to shop and you want to get some merch, feel free to come here and get some merch. Again, if you come over here and click on all products, you'll see on all the products that we have, from hoodies to masks and so forth and so on. Right. And if that isn't good enough for you, you can donate. You can always donate with your time. You can donate with your money. So, how do you donate with your time? You donate with your time by saying, "Hey, I would like to do a presentation, or I like to volunteer on helping us grow the channel." You retweet, you share this with other members. In fact, for those of you that come here every single week, we know you come here every single week and you don't subscribe. That helps us grow the channel. That helps us get more content to you. Hey, research isn't easy. I'm not getting paid to do research. I wish it was at a university, but hey, I'm bringing this to you, right? I'm bringing this to you and us and for others, right? So if that doesn't work, you can always donate on PayPal by clicking the donate button. Once you hit the donate button, you have your own denominations in which you can donate. And if that doesn't work for you, you can always reach out to D and you can cut a check and send a check. That works for us as well. All right. So, what are some other things that we actually do have as well? Right. So, we have a discount with IT Pro TV. You get 30% off. I've used IT Pro TV myself. I've done interviews with them. I'll pull those up as well too. But as you can see, I'm logging into IT Pro TV. What are the benefits here? You need to learn how you learn. So one of the things you can do in IT Pro TV, you can come over here, you can click on courses, and it gives you a list of courses that's separating them out by certification, and also separate them out by learning paths. You're like, Tameika, what does that mean? My four basic principles, or my four basic foundations of skill sets that you should have is Linux. You should also have an automation tool, whether it's Terraform or Ansible. You should know at least a cloud. I don't care. Pick either one. And finally, last but not least, security. And security comes in multiple forms: security of the operating system, security of the application, and also security of containers, right? And cloud security. So it's multiple facets when we're talking about security. Those are your four basics that you're going to need to to get you a job and then move you up. All right. And we're going to talk about our membership here in another video, but I just want to get this out to you. All right. So that's 30% off of IT Pro TV. And last but not least, our Calendly. We have set up for our Calendly. Let me pull that up. I think I have it saved in my browser here, so I can just go straight to it. If not, I'll get it from D here. Here we go, right here. All right. So with Calendly, we have one-on-one sessions. That's where you get to talk to either me or D, and you can request either one. But where you get to talk to us in a one-on-one session, right? Interview prep. Some of you are getting ready for interviews, or you never interviewed before. We want to prep you for an interview. Resume review. Let's go over what you have, or let's pull all your skills together. Let's get things formatted properly. Let's get everything going. And last but not least, career assessment. What is your journey? What could it look like? What could you be going through? What are your next steps? Some of you are transitioning, some of you are not, some of you are looking to transition, and some of you are just trying to figure out what is your next step. So, by saying all of this, we want you to enjoy your time here at Women in Linux. And also, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the share button, and last but not least, thank yourself that you actually did it. Oh boy, this is going to be a doozy. D, get ready in the background. If there's any moderators in the house, get ready. This is going to be a wild one. I promise you, this is coming from my perspective and only my perspective. It is only my thoughts. These are not the views of of D or the rest of everyone and women in Linux. These are only my views, right? So I watched the stream. I saw it with Anton Daniels, and he switched out Kayla and Kay. I saw that, and he added in a couple of white women. Let's just call it what it is, because this is where it's going. And he switched them out with Coach K, Pearly, and I think the other one she may be I don't think she's Afro Latina, but her name is Carmen. So she could be Spanish or Hispanic. I'm not sure. Anyway, and one of the questions that came up, and this is where I'm going with this, and then we're gonna really get into it. One of the questions that came up are white women more submissive than black women? And so here's where I'm going with this, and I'm giving it to you from a tech perspective. Are they more submissive? That's not the question that should have been asked. The question that should have been asked is, do they understand the plan? And I want to say this, and this is my perspective, Tameika's perspective only. When I'm working in tech, and I'm only speaking it from a tech perspective, they're in the room. I want to say this, they're in the room. What I see is, as black people, we're not in the room. So it's not a matter of who more submissive or not. It's a matter of who's in the room, and we're not in the room. So when I come to you all every week about what rooms we need to be in, we need to be in the room. So it's not a matter about being more submissive to me. It's a matter about being in the room, and we're just not in the room as a community. That's just my perspective on that. And also, when I say these things, I'm also talking about what I see, right? What I see is, what I see is when we are, when I'm sitting in a room and say a 4 or 5 star general or a captain or a colonel come in, let me, or a big time customer come in, every man and every woman, mostly white, majority white, gets in line. You know why? Because you know why they get in line? Has nothing to do with the fact of their ranking, right? There's some respect there for their ranking. You know why they get in line? Because of the money. It is the bottom line. The money is the bottom line. We got a goal. We trying to get to the end, and the goal is the money. So when I talk about it, I am talking about it from a perspective of being in the room and understanding that the infrastructure that we are building leads to greater wealth. And so we all need to be in alignment when we talk. When we're in meetings and we're talking, it is, how can I help you be successful so that we can win as a team? It's not about all this who blah blah blah. That don't come up. Let me tell you. When they walk in the room, every man and woman in that room is submissive. I don't know what other rooms people be in. I'm telling you from a tech perspective, owners of companies, I've seen them. I've seen people cower down. I've seen people be like, "Oh my goodness, we got to make sure everything's on point. Who's picking who up from the airport? What is the agenda? Let's go over that. We got demos to do. We need to go over these demos for the next 2 days. Who's gonna say what? Who's greeting who? What airport are they coming in at? Where are they staying at? Are the guests okay? Do we have snacks? Do we have this? It is, everybody is in on the deal. Everybody plays their part. It is, how can I keep this money flowing through this company, flowing through this family, so everybody gets in lines. And so, you know what else happens? Everybody communicates to each other what they need and what needs to get done. It is never, I'm just going to go over here and do this and then you need to follow me. It's no, I want to go over here and do this. Do we have the things that we need in place in order to make that happen? If I can't make that happen and we don't have the infrastructure in place, what do I need to do to get the infrastructure in place so we can go make that happen? Just what it is. Matt ran over. I'm done. I don't know what anybody else is talking about. This bottom line is, how do we keep the money flowing and how do we keep this money going throughout, not just 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, for the next 10 years, for the next 20 years? Where is, and it all comes back to what we talk about, what with creating a fund. It's all about, and even when you're doing wholesaling, it's all about deal flow. You're constantly looking for the next deal. Do you have the infrastructure in place? Does the team know how to move? It's just what it is. So it's not about who is submissive or more. It is about who understands the mission, and has the mission been conveyed to the team. Period. It's just what our my thoughts. For those that didn't like that thought, I apologize for you ahead of time, but I'm tired of seeing all these sidebar conversations about whatever, and we're not even in the room. We're not even in the room. All right, so let's get to it. This week we saw Albertsons being bought by Kroger for 34 billion. Where's that link at? I got it up here somewhere. No, that's not it. Right here. Kroger agrees to buy rival grocery store 24 grocery store Albertsons for 24.6 billion. Those that have lived in the Pac Northwest know where Albertson is. Those that live in the South know who Kroger is. I keep telling you all time and time again, the grocery stores have tech. They are in DevSecOps. They are in security. Excuse me. They are in logistics. They are into AI and robots. Every You got to think, Kroger is one of your bigger brands, or bigger grocery store chains. They're buying Albertsons for 24.6 billion. All right, so Kroger is the second largest grocer by market share in the United States, behind Walmart. Walmart's considered a grocery store and also considered an e-commerce as well too. So behind Walmart, Albertsons is the fourth after Costco. Right. The company said Kroger agreed to buy Albertsons for 34 dollars and 10 a share, and that's where I got the 34 from. Combined, Kroger and Albertsons, they employ more than 700,000 people. across 5,000 stores. 700,000 people across 5,000 stores. All right. So when you look at who they employ and what they're employing, and you break down Kroger, go break down Publix, go break down Costco, break down Walmart, even Home Depot. Home Depot has a big IT department. Delta Airlines, all the airlines have big IT departments. So when you all are out looking for jobs or wondering where you can go work at, these are places, or I would call hidden gems of places where you can go work at. That's what I would. That's what I would be doing, right? So again, when we talk about this, we got to start talking about it from a perspective of being in the room and what the bottom line is, right? Again, I always tell y'all, start with your end goal and work backwards. What is the end goal? The end goal is to be one. I hope, I hope we're talking about being at least in retirement $10 million. I hope we're talking about that. I hope that's what everybody is aiming for, at least at a minimum 2.5 million. That's what I would think that's what we're aiming for, right? All right. So the companies, rival Kroger and Albertsons on Friday announced plans to team up. And it's I'm so glad this is the first sentence because I want you to see what I just talked about, my mad rant, and see what they're talking about. Kroger and Albertsons decided to team up. Wealth keeping wealth, money keeping money. I understand the big picture. If we can team up together, we also too can still win. How can we make this a happy family? How can I make sure that the people that I have and the tech and the people that you have, we can combine these things and make it viable for both of us. And also, if I'm Kroger and I know Albertsons is fourth, I ain't gonna keep trying to beat them. I'm just gonna go buy them. I'm just gonna go buy them. Like, right? So you got to understand that play as well too, right? It's something Kroger saw in Albertsons that they was like, you know what? We want that too. I don't have to worry about competition. In fact, you kind of compete against Walmart and Costco. Let's just band together and understand what the bottom line is. Don't you get that? Like we move better as a unit than we do separate. I mean, like, don't you get that? But in order to move as a unit, we got to know what the plan is, how we're gonna move, how we're gonna make this happen, the infrastructure we need to make that happen. Like these conversations, same thing when you get to work. It's the same thing. You need to know what the end goal is, how to move, and how to get to it. Same way if you're gonna create a company. Same way if you're gonna have employees. You can't have your employees not knowing what you're gonna, like what's the next step. They want to be employed. They want to be a part of the process. They want to be a part of the plan, right? So the company said Kroger agreed to buy Albertsons for $34.10 a share in a deal valued at $24.6 billion. Albertsons shares are closed on Thursday at $28 after surging on reports that the deal was imminent. Kroger is the second largest grocer by market share in the United States. Behind Walmart, Albertsons is fourth, and after Costco. Together, Albertsons and Kroger would be closer second to Walmart. If I want to take you down, if I want to go after the bigger market share, come on with me and let's team up and let's do this. Right? Both companies' boards unanimously approved the agreement, which will need regulatory approval. The tie-up comes during challenging times in the grocery industry. Supermarkets have raced to keep up as shoppers embrace new ways of restocking the fridge. We see the decline. We see we can't keep up with Walmart. We can't keep up with Costco. We can't keep up with Amazon. We can't keep up with people going locally, but we can team together and we can work together. Now Now they have no choice but to fool with us. You gotta come see us, right? Companies had to invest in automation, employee training, and more as consumers bounce between browsing store aisles, ordering home deliveries, and using curbside pickup. Curbside pickup. In Colorado, you pull up to the curbside pickup. They got the actual overhead, so you can pull in. You're not sitting in the sun. You could check in. The people come bring they stuff out to you. I don't want to go in. And I keep trying to tell people, if you're not paying attention, things are moving so quickly that we don't want to go to the grocery store anymore. If I can just order from the farm and have it delivered, if I can just go to the farm and pick it up from the farm, like, hey, and I don't want to pick out nothing, y'all pick it out for me and I'm gonna pick it up, and I'll be there in 30 minutes, or I'll be there in an hour, or I schedule it too. I'm the need to the way we move. Automation is going to change the way we move. Automation is going to change how we receive goods. And I said this before. That's why I did the show on the robots. You can see how automation is changing. Just talking about having babies with a AI robot. It's going to be able to produce a baby. How quickly? Like, like, what does that look like? Right. So we're seeing this right before our eyes, and in order, and also you need to be in the room when we're talking about this. Go apply at these companies that are doing these cutting edge, or working on these cutting edge technologies. Stop going to the same places looking to for the same results, right? You go look at, I think it's Magna now, right? Not Fame. You go look at these companies and you're doing the same things. The reason why those companies are hiring the way they are is because they're not looking for the same people. They're not looking, excuse me, for the same thing. They're looking for new things, new ideas, new places to go. How's this gonna do? That's why I bought you all the space stuff last week, in the EVTOL stuff, right? Get your mind spinning and going. Don't do the same thing. If whatever you did yesterday, do something different today. Do something completely different. I know everybody got a routine, break it. Just do something different today. Just different. Step outside the box. All right, it says the tie-up comes during the challenge time. The grocery and supermarkets have raced to keep shopping, and the company had to invest in automation, employee training, and home deliveries. Okay, yeah. Grocers have also been hit hard with inflation. Food prices jumped up 11.2% from a year ago, according to the most recent Bureau of Labor of Statistics. Companies had to weigh when companies had to weigh when to pass on higher costs to consumers or customers, and when to absorb them to stay competitive. Kroger and Albertsons by the numbers. 2,800 stores for Kroger in 35 states, 420,000 employees, 25 banners, which follows these companies, also follow Fred Meyer's, Pac Northwest, King Supers, Colorado, and Namesake stores. They have a $33.3 billion market capitalization. Albertsons, 2,200 stores, 34 states, and Washington, D.C., 290,000 employees, 22 banners. Safeway falls under there, Acme, Tom Thumb are namesake stores. $52.2 billion in market capitalization. So 33 plus 15 gives them a $48.5 billion market capitalization together. 420 to 390, that's the 700,000 employees that will be under the one. The grocery industry is highly fragmented. Privately held regional stores such as HEB in Texas and Publix in Florida remain power players and command strong loyalty. Relative newcomers such as Aldi and Lidl, LIDL, and Amazon Fresh have attracted customers too. Plus, some Americans stock up on food at warehouse clubs such as Costco and Walmart, and Sam's Club and BJ's Wholesale, right? Kroger and Albertsons also have numerous banner stores, including the names that operators have acquired over the years. Kroger banners include Fred Meyer's, Ralph's, King Supers, and Albertsons. Banners include Acme and Tom Thumb. Combined, Kroger and Albertsons will have 700,000 employees across 5,000 states. Here's what the market share looked like. It says top U.S. grocers by share of total dollars spent. Combined, Albertson and Kroger will have almost 16%. So that knocks Costco down. And that means Costco is probably, and if they were smart, if Costco and Sam's Club were smart, I would combine Costco and Sam's Club. In fact, I would go Costco, Sam's Clubs, and BJ's. There's no need for have all three. We can make it one big monopoly, and we can take over. That's just my thought. I mean, and Costco doesn't have like another little sub store like a Walmart, right? So it'd be easy just to take over, to do a Sam's, a Costco, and a BJ's all together. You already have the infrastructure in place. You already have the actual you already have the actual real estate, right? It's just a matter of internal adoption of processes and procedures and time off and how we do things and what the model is and all of that stuff. That's what happens. That's what has to happen. That Costco, this Kroger Albertsons deal is probably gonna be at least 5 years in the making in terms of adoption from the employees, working out benefits, what they used to have, time off, all that has to trickle down, right? And then how they do security. What does their IT infrastructure look like? Who's adopting what? We're gonna load you on, and trust me, Kroger has already thought about this. How we're gonna bring people into the fold? Who's doing what? What do we want to look like? We want, what kind of automation do we want in these stores? What are we taking over? What are we doing? Like all that's coming into play, right? All right. Um, Here's Trader Joe's D with 1.2%. Yeah, y'all down here at the bottom. Somebody gonna buy y'all out. I know you like Trader Joe's. They may not be for sale though, right? Kroger captured about 9.9% of the U.S. grocery market in 12 months and ended on June 30th, according to the market researcher Numerator. Albertson's share was 5.7%. The next three big players after Albertsons are a whole Diaz, Publix, Sam's Club, and Target. A whole Diaz banners include Food Lion and Stop and Shop, and with along with Fresh Direct, an online grocer that is acquired. To team up, at Kroger and Albertsons would need regulators to sign off. Regulators would look at where the companies have dominance and weigh in if they would have too much power if combined. Said Eleanor Fox, a University of Texas. Can't form a monopoly. You can't do that, right? That's against regulations, right? A merger would be less likely to get approved if there are two top grocers in the market. She said, "Oh yeah, this is why. This is why. Okay, D big screen. All right, this is why. All right, so Albertsons and Costco combined, right? This is why they are going to probably go talk to, if not have already talked to Walmart and Costco's and say, hey, y'all need to team up because we want to do these things, right? Everybody understands what happened with Apple and Microsoft, right? You do know what happened with Apple and Microsoft. Microsoft was Bill Gates was accused of having a monopoly. So what did they do? What did he do? Apple was going out of business. He's like, hey, let me give you some money. So he gave him some money to get Apple out so that he didn't have to be a monopoly. You, rich gonna keep rich. We're gonna keep the money flowing. I'm gonna keep you in competition because I don't want them coming after me and I have to pay these fines and these regulations. But if I could pay you, give you this money and make and keep you in business, now I could say we got, see over here, we got competition over here. Yeah, Yeah, they're my competitor. Understand how to keep the money in place, how we keep money flowing. We had this conversation before. I told you how we know how Berkshire Hathaway got started, right? Y'all do know how they got started, right? You, you remember that conversation? You know what happened? He donated all the money to Bill Gates, right? He donated that money to Bill Gates Foundation, private foundation, and then they spun off a private foundation. And here we have Berkshire Hathaway. Like, again, be in the room, understand how money works. And another thing, when y'all in these rooms, keep your attitude off your face. Everybody's gonna nitpick at you. They're gonna throw salt in wounds. They're gonna say stuff. Oh my goodness, is that your real hair? You're like, mm, thank you if that was a compliment. See, now it gives that person some time to think about something. I see you losing weight, girl. You went and got a tummy tuck. Me? Did I go get a tummy tuck? No. Did you? Like, y'all gotta learn how to play. Y'all gotta learn how to play checkers. Well, chess, not checkers. Y'all doing too much. Yes, Dame Dash was the reason why they cut ties with each other is is because they were liabilities to each other. Let's be honest on that one. But again, it's all about understanding the end game there. The end game there. Yep, Helmet. The real talk, folks throw stuff. See how you can fit in. If you're easily ruffled, all a part of the game. I've been in it too long, so I know how it works. I've been in it way too long. That's why people ask me, how come how have you been able to stay in tech so long? Because I already know you don't expect for me to be there. I already know that you're gonna give me a hard time. I already know you're gonna question my authority. I already know that. I already know you're gonna be looking out for any. But if you know that, and this ain't got nothing to do with color either. Let's be clear, because we try to trip each other up all the time. This is why I was going back. Let me get back to what I was my part of my other mad rant. This is the other part of my mad rant. When we see each other in the room, and I'm talking about black men and black women, we don't even talk to each other. So we can't even understand how the room works. We can't even look out for each other in the room, right? So we ain't gonna never have that kind of wealth anyway, because we too stupid to talk to each other. That's just a fact. We don't even want to get to know each other. We talk about it at conferences. I've talked about it before. And the response from the men was, well, we don't want to be perceived, the da 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 do, the dot deep, the dot 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 the dot. And I'm like, perceived? Perceived as what? As like we like each other? Because they don't have no problem being in the same room with each other. They don't have no problems with sitting down talking to each other. They don't have no problems going to dinner together. They don't have no problem saying, oh, look, we doing this over here. You want to come join? We be too busy like, oh, can't have more than one or two or three, cause standing here talking, cause then it's gonna be the perception like we ain't doing nothing. Like y'all be up. Let me get back to this part. Some of the company markets have significant overlap, such as Southern California, Colorado, Seattle, and parts of the Midwest and Texas. I guess Simon Gutman, a retail Simon is that it? Simon Gutman, a retail analyst for Morgan Stanley, wrote in a research on Thursday. The other regions, such as the Northeast and Southwest, have very little overlap. Albertsons brings a complementary footprint and operates in several parts of the country with very few or no Kroger stores. Kroger CEO Mullen said that the news release announcing the deal, and it's the other thing why this deal is important too, right? Because now we see people are not just living in the cities, they're actually pushing further and further out, right? And so as we push further and further out, we're building new cities. So why not have the number one chain, a number one grocery store in your community? Why? Because now if I got you in my community and I know I'm getting a good valued store that these two have combined to make, if I'm getting that good valued store, hopefully it goes through. If I get that store in my community, guess what I can do as a real estate owner? I now can boast that we have this grocery store. I now can boast we have this plaza because most grocery stores are in a plaza or they're solo by themselves, like, right? But if I do have this grocery store in my plaza, so now I got food, I attract other things. You have to think about what other things attract around that grocery store. When you go look at a Kroger or a Publix or Costco or Sam's, look at the plazas that are around it, right? Look what goes in around those places. Furniture stores, your Home Depots, right? If you ever played attention, a lot of cities look the same. The plazas look the same. There's a reason why those plazas look the same. Follow the blueprint. They look the same for a reason. Whenever you see your Home Depots, your Wawas, your Albertsons, your Krogers, uh, those roads look the same. And then what do you see surrounding that? Maybe a 5 mile go look in a 5 mile 10 mile radius, and you're gonna see houses, condos. Most of look for the houses, right? The banks, look at the banks that are in those plazas or in those cities where they pop up. Where is Chase popping up their banks at? Where do you see a Chase at, right? Followed by your locals, your credit union, your local credit unions, right? Followed by your local ones. But understand the blueprint and how it works, right? That's right. Get the lights up. Send me an email if you don't like what I'm saying, right? If you're gonna put a negative, I'm telling you right now, if you put a negative comment on this one, I'm gonna delete it. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm gonna delete. Send me an email. Yeah, networking is important when you get a heads up prior to entering the room. You're armed with asset and knowledge. All right, be armed, like be ready, and also be ready for the unexpected. Right, over deliver, under promise, over deliver. Right, under promise, over deliver. Right, when I talk about, like, when you talk in these interviews and you're asking questions about, like, what's the future of the company, what's the future of this team, what problem are we trying to solve, what problems have you solved in the past, how did you solve them, right? What problems did you encounter, how did you come up how did you diversify the team, right? What is your end goal, what are you looking to do, what is the other diversity on those teams? I don't know why I'm coming in blurry there, D. It may be just the internet. I'm clear on my end, but I don't know why I'm coming in blurry. I see it on the thing. Sorry, maybe just the internet. It should be good Wi-Fi. All right. The combination will likely undergo. review periods by regulators that may require store diversitors. Um, Morgan Stanley Gutman said, all right, yeah. Gutman also cautioned all financial upside of the deal. Consolidation in the grocery industry has historically paid off in the form of higher profits. He said, however, he said the industry could be at a tipping point where a big merger could lift margins. All right, all right, we're gonna close down. Let's go here. Stock splits. What's coming up on stock splits this week? Right, BlackRock is coming up. This is on. I think I put that's marked Tuesday. Yeah, Monday we have BlackRock a 1-to-3 split 10-18. We got Brooklyn in Immuno. They're doing a 1-to-20 split. A 1-to-20 split. We got Air Industries Group. They're doing a 1-to-10 split. Yago 30. I'm not sure what a 39 to 49 split is. Or like if you got 39 shares, you're gonna be split into 49 shares. I'm assuming that's what that is. If you got 39 shares, they're split into 49. And if you look through the week, you'll see different ones. Right? Wednesday, more splits. Thursday, more splits. Right? Right? They got them all lined up here. So this is from the NASDAQ stock splits calendar. Go read the stock splits calendar, see who's splitting and what's coming up, right? Oh man, I don't know what that was. Oh, anyway, I have to go back and find it. Wonder what that was. All right, Biden hails IBM's $20 billion New York manufacturing deal. Now we already talked about the $100 billion that's going into New York from Micron. I talked about that last week. Here's $20 billion. So far, $120 billion into New York for manufacturing. We already know about the Build Better Back plan. We know 50 billion, or it was a $50 billion plan, and we know at least 10 billion is going into Ohio. Understand that when these places are building out these for these chip markets and so forth, you also have to understand those people need somewhere to eat, they need somewhere to stay, they need something to do, right? Cars need to be driven, commute, some type of transportation needs to be getting there, even open up cell phones, a cell phone center. Somebody need to get their cell phone working, right? Internet, um, alarm systems on houses, car washes, laundromats, apartments. I'm giving you everything that people will want, including vending machines, and we got that coming up too, right? All right, so this came out October the 6th. President Joe Biden on Thursday championed his administration to push and subsidize the U.S. semiconductor chip manufacturing and boost blue collar jobs at a visit to IBM's corporation facility in New York. This is where they have the quantum computing location in New York. So, again, tying things in, understand the plays, understand who has what, right? IBM plans to invest $20 billion in New York Hudson Valley region, once a manufacturing powerhouse, over the next decade to make and develop semiconductors, mainframe technology, IBM and mainframe, not going anywhere. Stop believing the hype. We've been using it. We're stuck. We're not making the migration off, right? Artificial intelligence and quantum computing. I hadn't even read the article yet. I'm telling you, right? The whole EV space with the batteries, that's quantum computing. We want to make them last longer. Mercedes uses quantum computing and partnered with IBM for their batteries. Understand that play, right? Then you also mainframe technology. Understand what's going on there. IBM was giving away training for mainframe technology because they need people. Because who else gonna run it? The baby boomers are leaving. Gen Xers are like, well, maybe. So they got to train up the next generation, right? After the millennials, they got to train up Gen Z. So easy way, easy way to get into tech right now. Easy way, go learn some mainframe for free from IBM. IBM had the scholarships out there for months. Get into tech, move around. I think IBM got over what is it 6,000 patents or 36,000 patents? IBM tops US patent list for the 28th consecutive year with innovations in AI, hybrid computing, and quantum computing and cybersecurity. Came out January the 12th of 2021. Scientists and researchers received 9,130 patents, US patents in 2020. That's just in 2020, marking 28 consecutive years of IBM patent leadership. IBM led the industry in the number of AI, quantum computing, and security related patents granted. IBM received more than 2,300 patents in AI as inventors developed new AI technologies to help businesses scale their use of AI. Patents in the area range from technology to make virtual agents more responsive to emotions when speaking to a customer, to AI that can help people with difficult decisions, summarizing key decision points from a variety of information sources, both written and verbal, and presenting them in an easy to understand visualization. So that this also drives up this visualization place I've been using. It's called Visual Stats or Visual Statistics or something like that. It's a website that I've been looking at. Uh, mm, Something like that. It's something like that. I don't know. I have to find it again. But they got a website where you go to and check out all the visualization of like what happens after a hurricane, what happens after a volcano, what are the effects of this, how long does it take to do X, Y, and Z, right? Go check those things out, right? The next one up on this streamlining hybrid cloud deployments at the edge. I talk about edge computing all the time. Your phone device is an edge computer. Your tablet is edge. Your ring doorbell is edge. When you're driving down the street and you see the lights and so forth, the cameras and edge computing, traffic flow. How is traffic flowing? Those are edge devices. Your drones, capturing information, farmland, farming, wind turbine, right? All those things, right? It says IBM received 3,000 patents related to cloud and hybrid cloud technologies. One of the crucial decisions CIOs face in determining which data will be processed on premises and which data will be processed in the cloud. Not all data is going to the cloud, private clouds, hybrid clouds. Understand how it works. How does that how do we what how do I get my stuff protected on prem, and then if I need a failover from the cloud, how can I still keep my organization going and vice versa, right? A direct link. How are we doing that, right? IBM inventors develop a technology to intelligently distribute data processing components between the cloud and edge computing devices in between. It offers the potential to greatly optimize the hybrid cloud for IoT workloads such as GPS generated driving directions that all cars use, trucks as well, right? They're that are sensitive to latency. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. You can't have imagine the 5 seconds when you driving. What's the difference? 5 seconds when you driving, right? Not when you get on the turn and it'd be like turn here. You be like oh, like I don't want to miss my turn, right? Edge and hybrid cloud offerings a crucial part of IBM's roadmap. In 2020, that they included the launch in May of 2020 an IBM Edge Application Manager. an autonomous management solution to enable AI analytics and IoT enterprise workloads to deploy and remotely manage, delivering real-time analysis and insight at scale. In addition, in November 2020, IBM announced IBM Cloud for telecommunications. Back to telecommunications, back to mainframe, back to your telcos, your OpenStack. Who does IBM own? Red Hat. Red Hat has OpenStack and OpenShift. This is why I push those things to you. I'm giving you and telling you what you're going to see for the next 10 years. Go get these skill sets that are going to last you for the next 10 years. Be in the room to have the conversation so you can see the roadmap. Create your own roadmap. Understand where we're going. I keep trying to show you not just the breadcrumbs. I'm giving you the whole bread. Now you got to execute on your own. I can only do so much, right? Um, let's see. IBM Cloud for Telecommunications to help companies unlock power at the edge in 5G in November 2020. The holistic cloud offering leverages IBM innovation encryption capabilities, quantum computing encryption, AI. Understand those, they play together. Blockchain, very huge with IBM. Quantum computing, AI, blockchain, edge computing. We love you. You know why? Ain't gonna never be hungry. Never be hungry. If you want to be employed to you 75, if you want to be employed till you 75, get these skills now. Well, they gonna call you back in. Can you come back and train us? Can you come back and train our people? Oh my goodness. All right. The holistic hybrid cloud offering leverages IBM's innovative encryption capabilities designed to enable critical workloads to be managed consistently from the network core to the edge, to position telecom providers to extract more value from their data while they drive innovation to their customers. Right? Laying the foundation on quantum applications. Quantum computing is a major focus for IBM and it is reflected on IBM's leadership in quantum computing patents obtained. One patent, for example, simplifies the mapping of quantum molecular simulation on quantum computing, on a quantum computer. As a result, researchers will be able to explore simulating chemical reactions on quantum computers to understand how and when the discovery process around new materials, new pharmaceuticals will be revolutionized. IBM is also granted a patent that sets the foundation for investing more accurate and efficient risk analysis calculations on a computer. These ideas are already being extended by research done in collaboration with leading financial institutions. I knew that's where they was going. Go look and see who JP Chase, who Edward Jones, and all these other people have partnerships with when it comes to quantum computing. Who do they have a quantum computer? Are they utilizing a quantum computer such as someone from Amazon or Honeywell or IBM, right? Honeywell has a quantum computer. Do y'all know who Honeywell is? Right? Have you just heard about them? Don't know who they are? All right, we're gonna get into Honeywell after this one. Maximize security for the world's most sensitive data as enterprise work to protect their data, particularly in highly regulated industries. IBM inventors received more than 1,400 related patents. One of the patents is used for fully homomorphic encryption, FHE, an IBM pioneer method for performing computation on data that remains encrypted while processing in order to maximize the use for data. This goes back to the computing foundation. What is it? It's not. What is it called? The computing confidential computing foundation. I spelled that wrong. Yep, the consortium right here. right? Let's go back and look at the members who are a part of this. Accenture, ARM, Google, Yahweh, Red Hat, Microsoft, Meta, Intel, AMD, Rust, Cisco, Fortinet. That's who we met with. NVIDIA, Ruby, VMware, Oasis Labs, Risk V, right? Understand, understand what's the play here. Understand the play for them, and confidential computing. Why? The how. We saw the uh, Google is a part of the confidential computing thing. You can do confidential computing right here at the CPU level, right? Protect data in use with confidential VMs, confidential GKE, and confidential data proc and confidential space. If I want end-to-end protection, end-to-end protection, down to the computing resource itself, the CPU itself, right? Encryption there. We also saw this in satellites. I talked about this months ago. Blockchain, confidential computing, and satellites is a thing. It's big. It is a thing. It is very big. But you wouldn't know that because you're not what? In the room. Got to be in the room, right? So I'm giving you tools and things so you could be in those rooms, right? Linux is just a start. It's just a start, right? Call it the gateway drug. All right. All right. That's Biden. I think I'm over here. IBM. Patents were awarded to more than 9,000 inventors located in the 46 United States and 54 countries. Since 1920, IBM has received more than 150,000 US patents. So, another thing that people do when they acquire companies, they don't acquire just the people, they acquire the patent, they acquire the knowledge, right? They acquire the knowledge. Shouldn't be going over your head, Stephen Day. If you in finance, if you got a cell phone, if you got a computer, if you I'm assuming you got something. You got internet. You got internet because you wouldn't be on here. Your phone or whatever has something. You This should not be going over your head. You're using an edge device of some sort. Even if you're on a desktop, you're using technology. Understand the technology about or what you're using. How does it play into your every single day? How does it change your life? What do you use it for? Right? Even if you're doing construction or truck driving or whatever the case may be, there's some way technology influences or has changed what you do, right? In some shape or form. It may not be direct, it may be indirect, right? Right. That was from 2020. We talked about confidential computing here. Let's go work backwards. Right. We did the Biden thing. Inside the Cold War between Amazon and unions, and this is internal to Amazon, which are welding drones and secret agents to expose the company labor practices, right? Internal conflict. The bigger you get, the more problems you're gonna have, right? Labor groups are pursuing a multi-pronged strategy attacking Amazon as it fights unions elections. Unions infiltrated Amazon construction sites in Oregon and Washington seeking regulatory violations. Labor has used drones, zoning boards, and local government meetings to derail Amazon facilities. Like, we don't want you here, right? We don't want you here. They actually should be free, John. They was giving them away for free. They was giving away the certification training for free. Uh, COBOL that was announced in 2020. IBM IT infrastructure training credentials right there. See if you can still get those. If not, go on IBM and check them out. They may have some other scholarships, right? How to get access to how to get mainframe access, IBM, all that. Quick, easy. Check them out. All right. This is not charging my tablet. D. Can you make sure I'm getting charged here underneath? Because I'm not getting charged. It says it's charging, but it's been in there for a minute. I don't see it being charged. Should be right there. Should go to this one under here. The big block one. Is it plugged in? Oh, okay. Maybe that the battery is dead. Okay. Thank you. All right. So U.S. infiltrated Amazon. Okay. On a frosty morning in 2021, Tom Tanner walked into an under construction Amazon warehouse in Eastern Washington seeking work. He had driven by, seen the steel framing for the warehouse going up, and wondered if contractor BZI Construction needed any extra hands. BZI hired him immediately, but the relationship didn't last long. Tanner later told a state investigator he quit 2 days later. Tanner wasn't just a footloose employee, he's an organizer for Ironworks Union, representing workers who build steel frame structures. During his short lived employment at BZI, Tanner was working undercover in an attempt to smear one of the most powerful companies in the world, Amazon. Campaigns to organize Amazon warehouse workers have grabbed national headlines, but the labor is simultaneously attacking Amazon less overtly. Unions are needling the company with a barrage of regulatory complaints, fighting Amazon in local zoning meetings, digging deep through federal data to attack Amazon's safety record, and even using undercover spies and drones to gather evidence. They will try to get you. They will. Right? Experts say that pursuing a multi-pronged strategy against Amazon gives unions more chances to win. Now the question is, what are they seeing that they need to go after Amazon as they build more units, as they build more facilities, as they're building distribution facilities, as they becoming under attack? TikTok is actually building distribution centers here in the U.S. TikTok is Chinese owned. So what does that tell you? If TikTok is building distribution centers, that means they're probably buying real estate, or they've already bought the real estate, right? So when they're building this, where are they building it at? What regulatory rules do they need to follow? And what happens to the area around that distribution center? What happens to the actual real estate, the schools, the grocery stores? Goes back to what I was saying before. Understanding that, right? You got to understand what that is, right? You got to understand what that is, what that looks like, right? It says they are doing union votes in New York, Alabama, aggressively appealing labor sole successful union election at Amazon's JF8K8 warehouse in Staten Island. Meanwhile, union elections overseen by the National Labor Board take place on regulatory plan feel titled heavily toward tilted heavily toward employers, right? And they go on to talk about their spies and their drones that they use, right? Another way, another business is being a private investigator with drones. Another business, right? Private investigating with drones. All right. Drone and aerial surveillance, right? Here we go. A firm in investigations red door investigations, right? Can a private investigator use drone on surveillance, right? Let's look at the video. Give y'all some context. I heard y'all say y'all can't hear. I don't know why you can't hear this. Oh, you can hear? Okay. I'll start over. Okay. All right. I'm gonna start. Y'all put a one in the chat if you can hear it. I'm starting it now. Interesting. Interesting. Y'all can't hear. I had one. I don't know why the other ones can't hear. Let's go. Let's try something different here. I'm gonna try something different here. All right. Let's see something. Let me play this one. Okay, y'all hear this video? Can you hear? Okay. You can hear that video? You can hear that, but you can't hear the last video. Okay. The one we watched last week. I ain't saying that. So you can only hear me. You can't hear the video. All right. So let me look at something here. Let's see. Do 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 do. Let me go look at my sound. Mm-mm. It could be my cord. Let's see. Input. Built in. Yeah, everything is coming through here. Let me see. Let me look at StreamYard settings. Audio. Everything is built in. It could be my HDMI cord. All right, let's try this again. Now drop a one. It's loud on purpose. I turned it up. Alright. Alright, so let's go back to our video.
Have you ever wondered if a private investigator can use a drone for surveillance? If you said yes, then this video is for you. Welcome to the PI Guide, tips, tricks, and advice for professional private investigators just like you. My name is John Morris. I am a licensed professional private investigator in Colorado. Technology as we know it seems to change on an almost daily basis. I am constantly hearing of new pieces of technology coming out and how it will make my life better, change my work productivity, and basically make me a better me. Well, color me skeptical, but I do not always buy into that. So I always give technology some time to settle into the marketplace before I invest in equipment, software, and other technologies. Drones would seem to be a game changer for private investigators, especially when it comes to surveillance. But how much of a game changer are they really? Let's explore some of the potential uses of drones for a surveillance investigator. First, let's cover the big white elephant in the room. Is it even legal for a private investigator to use a drone for any investigation? To answer this question, let's take a look at Part 107 guidelines from the FAA. Now, really quick, let me state, I am not an attorney, nor do I play one on YouTube, nor am I an expert on drones, drone usage, drone laws, or anything else. This video merely depicts my opinion on the topic and is not intended to be considered as legal or professional advice. Okay, first, let us take a look at the drone itself. The FAA requires that all drones be registered with the FAA unless they weigh 0.55 pounds, 250 grams or less, and are flown under the exemption for recreational flyers rules. Now, you can still register your small drone that is 0.55 pounds or under, but you do not have to if you are a recreational flyer. So if you are a private investigator and you are getting paid to conduct an investigation and you use a drone to conduct that investigation in any way, shape, or form, well, you are no longer considered as a recreational flyer.
All right, John says she can't hear. No, is that everybody else can't hear? Dia, we good? Everybody, I don't know. John says she can't hear. All right, you can't hear, so that's fine. Here's what we can do. Cause okay, you okay, we good, okay. Cause I'm like I got other ways we can get information.
Regardless of the size of your drone. Registration costs for drones, by the way, is minimal. I believe it costs about $5 to register a drone. Registration is also valid for 3 years, and registration is not transferable. There are rules too that apply to all recreational flyers, regardless of whether the drone has to be registered or not. The first rule is that they only fly for recreational purposes, enjoyment. They also must follow certain safety guidelines. They must keep the drone within visual line of sight or use an observer, give way to manned aircraft, fly below 400 feet, do not fly in restricted airspace, do not operate in a dangerous manner. They cannot fly over vehicle traffic or people. They must not interfere with emergency response or law enforcement. Cannot fly under the influence of drugs or alcohol. And there are many, many other rules to be sure. So now we have a little information of what a private investigator must have in order to use a drone in his or her business. Registering their drones is a must regardless of size. But what about licensing? Yes, there is a license or certification requirement for drone pilots when using a drone for any commercial purpose. So if you make one penny operating your drone, you are using it for a commercial purpose. If you are using a drone to promote your own business, well, guess what? You are using it for commercial purposes. To become an FAA certified drone pilot, you must pass a knowledge test and obtain an FAA tracking number. Testing for a drone pilot's license is arduous and covers several areas. You have to know applicable regulations relating to small unmanned aircraft systems, their limitations, and general flight operations. You also need to know airspace classifications and operating requirements, flight restrictions, aviation weather sources, emergency procedures, radio communication procedures, aeronautical decision-making, airport operations, night operation rules, and more.
All right, I'm gonna stop him right there, and we're gonna get back to him. I do want to do this. All right, I do want to do this. This is Gleam Aviation. I actually bought my pilot stuff. It's sitting over there. I cracked the book open and I dropped it to get my pilot's license. But here's their stuff for training for the FAA Part 107 remote pilot certificate. Get paid to fly drones as a commercial SUAS or UAV or a drone operator. Who hires for drones? You probably wonder who would hire for drones, right? Well, your places like your Amazon. I wouldn't be surprised of Facebook. I wouldn't be surprised of any of the security stuff, any of the security companies that do that, construction sites. Again, I also need to analyze that data. Any DoD, any DoD centric places. When I say that, people who may be working with the DoD and they have drone pilots or whatnot, and they're working with them. That's another place. Someone who wants to teach it, you may go out and start teaching about drone agriculture. When we did it, there's a group on Clubhouse that I'm a part of that talk about drones and which drones to get. And there's one lady in there that shows you how to she actually trains on how to get into agricultural drones and what drone to buy, and she has partnerships with companies so that you can start flying drones and getting paid on the side to fly drones. She was saying that the average job that they get yearly salary ranges anywhere from 120 to 160 as a side hustle, that you go fly and do your agricultural shots drones. Some guys on there do the drone inspection for bridges. There are drone inspection for apartments and buildings and so forth, right? And taking that data, putting it together, and being able to analyze it. We see now, we see now more than ever drones after hurricanes and tornadoes, right? Or even during a tornado, someone's up, especially if you watch like Storm Chasers and things like that, where people are getting in and looking at the drones, right? So here, this training, get paid to fly drones, training solutions, knowledge test prep, learn about small unmanned art craft rule requirements to become a remote pilot, how to apply for a remote pilot certificate, and learn about the opportunities that they have. This is a horrible background, so I'm going to have to read it to you. That background is horrible. Photography and videography, news reporting, tourism, marketing, sports events, concerts, advertising, event coverage, private family event photos, real estate construction, marketing, media, property photos and video, surveying, land development, project management, rooftop maintenance, engineering, asset monitoring, um, measurement and lidar, right? Digital modeling, elevation mapping, site planning, civil and government, law enforcement, aerial surveys, mapping natural resources, land cover, aerial inspection, rooftop inspections, maintenance, power line patrol, aviation, pilot training, disaster relief, natural disaster assistance, flood assessment, oil spill monitoring, sinkhole inspection, agricultural, crop management, vegetation inspection, drought monitoring, pest control, plant examination, right? All the different things that you could do to be employed as a drone pilot or a remote pilot, things that you could do on the side as well too, right? So just giving you a different perspective of like you want a hobby, but why not get paid from a hobby? Learn how to fly a drone, and then start doing other things on the side, right? Right. So again, just another idea. Let's get back to the video. Let me see. I'm trying to see if he's got some. He does. Let's see. Here we go.
The things that complicate the use of drones for stationary surveillance are the safety regulations in place for all drone pilots. You first have to be able to see the drone at all times. That is, eyes on the drone. Think of any residential area. You will not fly very far before you no longer have eyes on the drone. Then there are the restrictions of where you can fly, or should I say, where you cannot fly. You cannot fly over vehicle traffic. So just about any roadway is pretty much off limits. You cannot fly over people. So, well, how much restriction does that place on you? Now, given all of the restrictions, here is a more complicated thought. What happens in court when the other side walks through every restriction of your pilot certification, and there are hundreds of them, and asks you to tell the court how you ensured you met each guideline? If they catch you in just one area of noncompliance, there is a good chance your video gets disallowed as well. You could face charges from the FAA regarding improper usage, and you could lose your pilot's license. Now, I see a lot of comments from people about just using a drone to see inside someone's house or apartment, through a window, or over a fence, in a backyard, in other places. There are huge concerns for using a drone in this manner, to be sure. The first and most logical reason a PI should never do this is reasonable expectation of privacy. Every one of us has reasonable expectations of privacy in certain areas. Inside our homes is one of them. In our yards, especially if we have a privacy fence, is another. Sure, most states allow video or photography to be obtained of any activity in public view, but just because you can go over or up into airspace does not make that now public view. Just like you cannot climb a tree to look over someone's fence to get video of them, you cannot use a drone to do the same thing. And I know, some of you are going to say, well, I was surveilled with a drone. I am not saying it doesn't happen. What I am saying is, in most likelihood, it would not be admissible in court for most civil cases where a PI was involved. So,
All right. So now I'm glad he said that. So let's look at this link right here. It says drones and aerial surveillance. It says, how does a private investigator use drones? Pre-surveillance activities. This means before a private investigator starts their surveillance investigation, they would survey the area for potential mobile or stationary positions, such points of egress, and even major areas. And let me blow this up a little bit more so you can read it with me. Surveillance. A private investigator can use a drone in real time. This is especially helpful in rural areas. Drones can help find routes for subjects or provide a safer alternative for the private investigator performing surveillance investigation. Scene reconstruction. No matter how good your map app or mobile device is never up to date as it needs to be. Google Maps isn't perfect. Access to difficult areas, surveying land, covers more area. A drone can go further and so forth. A drone and aerial surveillance offers a private investigator a cheaper alternative to other forms of aerial surveillance, like chartering a plane or a helicopter. Private investigators can use drone and aerial surveillance to locate the property that may be hidden away by being in a person's backyard. It can also find the property that is deep in the construction site. Drone and aerial surveillance can be used to document construction sites, disaster areas, light sinkholes, or hurricane damage. The main reason to use a licensed private investigator is to know the knowledge of the privacy laws. And so this right here is drone and aerial surveillance. And this is from Nathan's Investigations. If you look at the services that he has, stalking investigation, risk management investigation, surveillance investigation, bank and assets, online dating investigation, and national background reports, right? And then he got service in local areas and so forth, right? So that's all from a private investigator standpoint from what a drone. And so, like I say, you can use drones for many things. One is but you need to understand the rules and the regulations and the guidelines in which you can play in. If you know the parameters in which you can play in, that's going to make you even more successful, right? All right. So let's go back over here. All right. President Biden, interim funding bill. This came out September the 30th. The House passes a continuing resolution to keep government open, and this was to keep them open, right? But there's a reason why I wanted to bring this up because we're gonna go into some other stuff that I didn't get a chance to talk about, right? We do know the changes that are coming out. with the 401k, right? You all know what the new changes coming out with your 401k and your IRA. There are new changes that are out with your 401k and your IRA. They want you to have the ability to invest in riskier assets or riskier markets, right? So you need to be on aware of what those changes mean to you as the person who's in it. Does it mean that if I make a change into something risky, I'm on my own? Or am I not going to get any help or guidance my from my I guess the person who's maintaining my 401k, right? Do I get financial advisors because they realize that people are not putting enough money into their 401k and they're too restrictive for what the markets have. And then we got the what we call us as retail investors. There's a problem with that. They want you to come under the fold, right? To be, I guess, more manageable if you want to look at it from that perspective. All right, so um, this is continual appropriation, UK supplemental appropriation. If Joe Biden signs this bill, this measure will prevent the government shutdown and provide supplemental funding for several programs. The bill passed 72 to 25, 230 to 201. Often referred as continuing resolution, the bill merely extends the government funding at current levels. Government departments cannot use any money to start new programs or accelerate existing ones since they have not been approved for by proper annual funding. All right, let's go see if we got some ideas of what those were. They didn't give us the link of the actual ones that they kept in range. However, we do have. That's the one I closed out. It was the Biden joint. Hold on, let me go back into my notes because there's another one that I had for Biden. And let's go episode 85. And let me see. It was a market watch. It may be in my Slack. Mm-mm. Yeah, it may be in my Slack. Let me look. Mm. Oh man, I closed it out. That sucks. Yep, I closed it out. I don't see it right now. Gotta be more careful, but that's okay. That's all right. We'll move on from Biden. I had one more. All right. So I promised you last week about the 12,000, the nurse, right? The nurses that are making 12,000 a month, right? This nurse is saving 12,000 a month, but I think he's making 30,000 a month or 22 something like that. All right. So this is from Nurses to Riches. In this episode of our Road to Fire series, we talk about Les, a nurse making so much money as a travel nurse that he is able to save 12,000 a month. Les has been a follower for Nurses Rich since the early days of our YouTube. He has been an active member on the Discord channel and so forth. Find out how he's able to save over 49% of his income a month. Right. So let's go. We're not gonna go through all of it. We're just gonna go through maybe the first 5 minutes, and then D can drop the link on the travel nurse here.
Guys, Jason here. Welcome back to the channel and our series, Nurses to Riches: The Road to Fire. In our last episode, we had Nasima on the episode. Nasima is one of the richest nurses that I've met so far. If you want to learn about backdoor Roth IRAs, 457Bs, renting out your car through Turo, and other investment hacks, make sure you go watch that video. But today we have a guest on the show that has been a longtime follower of ours and a very active member on our Discord server, Les. The reason I wanted to have Les on our channel is because he seems to be very meticulous about tracking his finances and increasing his savings. You're going to be blown away by the amount of money he is saving as a nurse. And that's exactly why I have him on the show today. So, Les, please introduce yourself. Let us know what state you work in and what led you to become a nurse.
All right. Hey, guys, I'm Les. I'm originally from Georgia, but as of now, thanks to discovering Jason's channel approximately about a year ago, I am now working in the Bay Area in California, where, as Jason says, and it's not a joke, pay is way better than other U.S. states. I'm 27, and I'm currently a travel nurse that works in the operating room.
Okay. And how long ago did you say that you moved to California?
It's been about 3 months now because I'm just about to complete my first contract at the hospital I'm currently at, and I just extended contract.
Wow. And where did you work before that? Like, what state did you?
So I want to start right there. Travel nurse, contract. So what do you hear when you hear contract? You should be immediately thinking 1099. You should be immediately thinking at some way to put that money up. One, you got to probably pay taxes on it, but at the same token, there is also the ability to um, make that money work for you. Remember when I told you I met with the guy when we were talking about private foundations, he said most people like to personalize their wealth, but the wealthy institutionalize their wealth, right? Personalizing your wealth keeps you broke. Institutionalizing your wealth is what the wealthy does and keeps you rich, keeps you wealthy, right? Remember, you have to, in order to institutionalize your wealth, you need to understand what your options are. This is why I told you all you probably need to be looking at enrolled agents or a financial advisor to help set up your LLC properly. Should you be an S corp? Should you be a C corp? How can you set up your own nonprofit 501c3 or C6? What does that look like? Where the foundation owns the land and not the LLC. If the foundation owns the land, now we're talking about you have the ability to uh, when you get ready to sell, not pay sales tax, not pay property taxes, right? Because it is a nonprofit. It is a reason why churches go after buying real estate because the of the things that are centered around it. This is not financial advice. This is just things that I've learned along the way, and I'm sharing that with you. If you don't believe anything I say, please go fact check and look it up at the I, the R, and the S. They're waiting on you. Callers are standing by. All right, let's get back to the video.
Working.
Before that, I was actually in Chicago for about 6 months during their winter. I'm from the South, so I'm not used to the snow, having to dig out my own parking spot. But yeah, I was in Chicago for 6 months on my first travel assignment. It was pretty nice. But before that, I was in Georgia, had worked in Atlanta for a couple of years. And before that, I had worked in rural North Georgia in a small community hospital.
So you were in Georgia, then you went to Chicago after that?
Yeah, basically. I was only in Chicago for a few months, just to...
Oh, I gotta take it out the stream. I don't know what happened
just
there.
Just my first assignment. But this is at the peak
I don't know.
of
If something
COVID
happened with the internet there. I'm assuming. I don't know. It just automatically stopped. I don't know. Who knows? We'll take you out the stream. We'll see. The stream didn't stop, but I don't know what happened, why it started doing that. I'll give you the link and you all can look it up. Let me go and get it from the thing. And I'll give it to D and you can check them out. Did the internet just go out on us? I don't know, because something's going on with my computer. I don't wonder if it's getting ready to shut down because it's not charging. I don't know. I'm getting slow responses on everything. Y'all can still see my screen, right? All right. I don't know. I tried, people. Traveling nurses is a thing. They make money. I think there's a couple of that's one channel. There's another channel for traveling nurses as well too. They get together and share like upcoming jobs, what's going, different things and so forth, right? I'm not sure what you mean more in depth about the 401k there. The new 401k options. Hold on. Yeah, see my screen is spinning. I think it may be my laptop. Let me see something here. If I get my screen back, uh, yeah, it snatched the stream, and now we back. I don't know, something's going on with that. So the 401k options, Evelyn, was they're talking about not necessarily changing the limits, but they're talking about how you can do different investments. So they're looking at the ability to, like in some of your 401ks, you're limited to what they have, right? You're limited by like, hey, I'm gonna leave and come back in, D. Oh, okay, yeah, because it's telling me my browser lost connection and all kind of stuff. I don't know what's going on. I don't have too many things open. I'll close Slack and I'll shut down my mail, but I don't have too many things open. It's acting really, really slow. Maybe time to reboot the laptop. Maybe time for a new laptop. It's always time for a new laptop. All right. So the 401k options is the 401k being able to make investments into like I say, more risky, I don't want to say more riskier, but riskier investments. And those investments may not just be like before, maybe some stock options that you're able to invest in, and that's supposed to be coming down in December. So be on the lookout for that. I had a I had a I had a stream dedicated to that, but I didn't do it this week. I want to I want to go pull up the actual more documentation on it and give it to you so you can go research it for yourself. But it's actually a bill that's coming out about that, right? It's actually a bill that's coming out. Let me look at this, see if I can get um see. It's supposed to be voted on in December or something like that. Um Let me see. That was from 2020. This is for 2021. And this was I was looking at this back like maybe 2 weeks ago. Um Let me look up risky investments. Hold on, I'm gonna get to it. I'll share my screen in a minute. Let me make sure I get this right so you all can research the right things. Yeah, okay, right here. Did it come over? Yeah, there you go. All right, the Senate bill would boost alternative assets in the 401k, right? And this comes out September the 29th, 2022, right? Let's click on that. Hopefully it'll work, but it may not. Like I say, my computer's acting up right now. Everything is slow. All right, here we go. I think. All right. So the Senate bill would boost alternative assets. Republican proposal will allow plans to pay higher fees that may come with non-traditional investments, right? And see how it looks on the screen? I don't know. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. A new bill from top Republicans. Let me blow that up. Okay, there we go. Um, all right, a new bill from top Republicans on Senate banking aims to open workplace retirement. Come on, catch up. Workplace retirement plans to a bigger range of investments, making it easier for 401k plans to diversify holdings in private equity, hedge funds, real estate, cryptocurrencies, and other alternative investments. You can't do that now inside of your 401k, right? The panel's top GOP member, Patrick Toomey of Pennsylvania, is leading Senate introduction of the draft bill, which comes as lawmakers move broad retirement savings by the end legislation by the end of the year, right? All right. So it says, oh, I can't read that. It says they said we'll clarify a range of non-traditional investments options are among those with workplace plan managers can recommend. Select a monitor without breaching their fiduciary obligations. The legislation will also clarify that expenses related to these investments, which in May charge higher fees than traditional mutual funds found in typical 401ks, would be acceptable. The bill lists certain investments intended to be workplace plan options, though the texts say that the list is not exhaustive. Private equity and hedge funds, as well as venture capital firms that invest in startups. Thanks for all the ads. No, you fine. Would clarify that the range of non-traditional options are those among the workplace plan managers, blah blah. Okay, yeah. Private equity and hedge funds, as well as venture capital firms, have invest in startups are named as real estate assets and related securities, such as real estate investment trusts, which pool together a range of income-producing properties. Commodities are named, as well as infrastructure investments, insurance products, and annuities and digital assets. So this is really like a play to get more, or could be, um, your insurance companies involved, your private equity company involved, your hedge funds involved as well too, right? Because when we look at like the places like Crowd Street, your Mass Mutual, your insurance companies, you go to those places to invest, and you have to use your own additional money to invest in those. Like, there's an additional set of money that you have to use to invest in those. But if you could do that out of your 401k, where you could diversify and say, well, I invested in an annuity, or I invested in an IUL, or I invested in this hedge fund, or I invested in this private equity fund, gives you a little bit more ability to be diverse, and also become an accredited investor as well too. Let's not play no games here, right? The ability to create that also opens up the ability to create more accredited investors, right? Okay, so that was what I was talking about. I wanted to do some more research on, because what I want to find out is, how would you invest into a private equity fund or a hedge fund? What does that look like? Because they have a requirement on certain deals that you have to be an accredited investor. And how would you do that if you're not an accredited investor, right? How would that setup look? All right. So this one right here I wanted to talk about was how this 31-year-old turned his side hustle into a 300,000 vending machine business and only worked 4 hours, right? vending machine business and only works 4 hours. This 31-year-old brings in 300,000 with this vending machine, and here's how. Right. So I think there's a video for this. CNBC make it never snatch stuff down, so it's all good. One, you need at least 4,500 to get started. I saved up $10,000 from my 9 to 5, but my startup cost was around 4,000, which I used to pay for the snack machine, a beverage machine, two credit card readers, food and drink products, and delivery fees. Due to inflation, things are much more expensive now, so I recommend anywhere from 4,500 to 5,000. Machines can run anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000, depending on whether they're new or refurbished. Delivery costs are usually between $200 to $500. So these office buildings, new places, throwing up vending machines and so forth, right? While credit card readers are optional, I found they can boost sales by 25% since you aren't relying on the customers to have cash. And then some of the vending machines also take cryptocurrency as well too, right? So look at the cryptocurrency ATMs, look at the cryptocurrency vending machines as well too, right? Look for machine vendors with good reputations. Crane, AMS, Dixie Narco, and automatic products are all reliable manufacturers. Look to see if they're vending machine warehouses in your city and on platforms like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and eBay. Right. So you want to be able to look at the reputation of those places and also call them and ask questions. Call them and ask questions. Talk to people. Buy a book. Look at videos if you're going to do something like this, because you're going to have to probably 9 times out of 10 scout locations, have a relationship with people and so forth. How do you remotely monitor your vending and so forth? Again, this is an edge device, right? It's nothing but an edge device, right? There are many types of vending machines. A refurbished Vendo 511 drink machine, for example, recognize might recognize as a classic Pepsi machine can go for 1,500. A new one can cost around 3,500. So here's he's showing his vending machine. All right. If you can only have room for one in a given location, I recommend going with a Crane National 449 combo machine. I still feel like I'm talking about guns or something like that. A Crane 449, right? All right, which includes both snacks and beverages. A refurbished machine goes for 3,500. A new one can cost up to 7,000. Never buy a machine. You have a never buy a machine until you have a place to put it, right? Location is everything. I'm always thinking about places that have a lot of foot traffic, apartment complexes, hotels, student housing areas, and warehouses with a lot of employees are great options. We're trying to figure out whether a location might be profitable. Find out the hours operation of the establishment, how big the staff is in the area, right? One of my best selling placements is an online gaming location in Philadelphia, which is pacing to gross 100,000 a year, right? I don't pay much to place a machine in a given location, which I found is typical in that business. Many businesses just want the service and don't want to have to pay for the machines or the installation. Of all my locations, I pay only one venue 15% of monthly profits. Yes, branding and customer service is important. I quit my full-time job 3 years ago, after starting joiner vending and work only 4 hours a week now. Most of the time, I'm shopping online for food and beverage products, and once a week I restock my machine in Maryland myself. A lot of people think there isn't any branding or customer service involved in this business since machines operate on own, but that's not the case. Of course, if you ain't got the products, if you don't have the relationships and so forth, if the machine don't work, if it's always taking your money, that's a problem. What sets me apart from my competitors is quick response time. I do my best to accommodate customers, both the venues that house my machines and the people buying the items from them, right? All right. It says when starting out, I spent $30 on a company polo shirt that I always wore, and invested $20 in business cards. I paid for a website and had a business proposal ready at all times in case there was a company, in case the machine had a placement opportunity. Five, study what customer wants. Some of my best-selling items are Coca-Cola, Red Bull, peanut M&Ms, Dorito nacho cheese, and Lipton iced tea. Now we all know that people are now selling hair, eyelashes, shoes, and everything out of vending machines, right? I would not be surprised if we start seeing male hair units coming out of vending machines. We've already seen the evolution of a lot of things here, right? I usually get them in bulk from wholesalers like Sam's, BJ's, and Costco. There's also vending machine warehouses that sell food and beverages, like Pinnacle Vending in Philadelphia. At Pinnacle, I can buy a bottle of Coca Cola at wholesale price for 55 cents. I then sell it for $1.75, which gives me a profit of $1.20 per bottle. A bag of Doritos costs me 60 cents, which I sell for $1.50, and I earn a 90% profit. 30% of my revenue goes towards stocking products. 10% goes to paying my 5 part-time employees. Another 10% goes to miscellaneous expenses, and my take home is 50% profit. As your business grows, share your knowledge with others. Be in the room. Sit. In future, in the future, I want to expand more states, grow my team, and eventually open and own my own vending warehouse. In 2020, I started off offering an online class on how to start a vending machine and wrote an ebook based on the course. I've made 90,000 to date from digital products. Next year, I'm launching a one-on-one coaching and consulting program. Joining a vendor has been life changing, not just for me, but for my family as well. My favorite part is that I become an expert in the business, and I get to share my knowledge with others. Right, and so you can check him out. There's a video right here of him, right here. Hopefully, it'll come up. Just moving slow, moving slow. I don't know. Let me see if I click on it. What happens? I think videos are out. Like my web browser, my desktop is moving slow. Yeah, I'm not getting nothing there. I clicked on it and nothing's happened there. See it spinning? Yeah, I tried. Maybe it'll come up when I come over here. I don't know. All right. So Don Dickinson. You may have seen her on the Breakfast Club. She's out of Ohio. She's been around for a while in this place, in this space of crowdfunding, building your own company. She started. She's the one that sells her shoes. I think it's called Flat Out Heels. And she sells those out of a vending machine, and then she moved into AI and vending as well too. So you'll find her in this week. You'll find her in. Oh, there we go. Look at it. I told you it was gonna start after I start talking. I told you it was gonna start after I start talking. I knew it was. It's like it's just gonna start when I talk. I'm gonna close it out. So oh man, that got that's just everything gets slow. But anyway, let's go over here. Her name is Dawn Dickinson. Everything is slow today, y'all. Sorry. And it's not gonna come up. Let me get more specific here. Yeah, see, she was on the Breakfast Club there. Let's go flat out heels. And me and Dee got a chance to meet her at in Miami at the breakfast. I forget what was that name of that, D? When we were in Miami, was it forget the name of the event. Yeah, here's Flat Out Heels right here. She falls under Backstage Capital, founded in 2011. Hopefully this will come up because it shouldn't be any video on this right here. So at least I don't think it is. So maybe it'll look easier there. We may have to end the stream right here because everything acting so slow. All right, so that's done. Flat Out Heels. Um, and she turned it into a put where you can walk up to a vending machine if you got on heels and grab that. Yep, she's doing back. She's in the cannabis space with AI. She's in a lot of different spaces. She's got her hand in a lot of different things. But this is where she got her first start at, and then she moved into AI and vending machines. Right. Um, I wanted to do the video with Don and with the crowdfunding and starting your own crowdfunding platform and how crowdfunding has helped worked. Where I think she was on the I think she's on the Nasdaq and something like that. Let me. Hopefully this will work. This will be the last one. I hope this works because as you can see, I got way more stuff to go over, but we probably won't make it this one. I'm probably gonna have to reboot here. Um, but I really did want to um do the one from what's the name of that show? What's the name? I just had it up on YouTube. I forget her name. I forget the name of the show. Just escapes my mind. Tech Tuesday, but it was I forget Karen Hunter. That's her name. That's what we want to do. Let's look up Karen Hunter. I don't know why the stream keeps going blank like that. I don't. I have no idea. What's going on, Melissa? How you doing? All right. So let me see if this will let me play because it's really acting slow, and I may have to wait to next week to do it so we can really talk about crowdfunding. I want to have more conversations this week about acquisitions. I wanted to talk about No Before being acquired. They went public and now they went back private and they were acquired by a private equity fund. And I wanted to talk about being acquired by a private equity fund. Yeah, it's just spinning for me. I knew that wasn't gonna work. So we're gonna have to talk about acquisitions next week. Um, because this is what we were leading into. I want to talk about how some companies go public and then they pull back and then they become private and they get acquired by your private equity fund. They get acquired by your hedge funds. And what happens underneath that umbrella, just from my perspective, not that I know everything. I'm just giving you the perspective of what I see. How long these private equity companies keep these things, why they acquire them, and so forth, right? But I'm gonna have to reboot my computer now. It's acting slow, so and find me another charging source because that's not gonna work for the next show. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed. We'll be back. I'm not sure if the next stream starts at 3 or 3:30, but we'll be back soon. Catch y'all then. It's slow. I'm sorry.